Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Money Talks with Ayanna Smith, and we're going to be sharing a part two of how savvy women recalibrate, save their money, and soar. We talked last week about some great things that we could do, some tidbits with three S's and some C's that we talked about. So you have to go back and watch or listen to the replay of that. But this week, we're going to talk about and to share how we can recalibrate on just some everyday 1, 2, 3 matters to get ourselves recalibrated so we can put more money back into our disposable income. And we'll be right back. And we are back. And again, this is Ayanna Smith, and I am your host of Money Talks with Ayanna Smith. And I am a financial professional, and I help people make and save money, of course, in a tax-free manner. But I also help people with final expense to make sure that when your loved one is called home or when you're called home, that you don't have to make people cry, fry, and don't make them mad and sad all at the same time. You will have enough to put you away, but also show you how to build your money while you're living, and also think about some expenses that you can take care of by sending your children to college for free because you've invested and built a legacy for them. So those are just some of the things that I do to help. Of course, I'd love to connect with you, just starting off, connecting with everyone, making sure that we connect on all social media outlets, and then just go to my website at www.ayanna.com, askayanna.com, where you can go and make a complimentary virtual consultation appointment, and also even set up a time, and by appointment only, but set up a time that if you're in the Hampton Roads area, we can meet face to face to get your financial plan on, to get your financial plan on the go and on the move, because we all need to tweak things and look at things. And sometimes just sitting down and having that one-on-one is really something that we can just, what we say, I like to say, bare our financial soul and get to the next level and get to our goals and our dreams. And if we don't have any goals and dreams, now is the perfect time to get some goals and dreams and then put them in action, put a date on it, and get moving. So with that being said, of course, I want to make sure that we are connecting and that we are doing the things that we need to do, as far as making sure that we have reached out to one another, that we have connected on, like I said, all social media. But the best way to connect with me is through the website, www.askayanna.com. So let's get into some of the things that we're going to talk with and talk over, talk through, and all that great thing. Yes, we want to know, how do savvy women recalibrate and save their money? And I was looking, and I always like to touch base, meaning that I have a thought and a mindset, but any good researchers know that you always want to find someone who is basically thinking along the same lines as you are. I research and listen and listen to different people speak about money and get their school of thought. And also read books and what have you, and just hear what people are saying and the trends that are going on. But the bottom line is, of course, if we make money, we need to learn how to save it. And then if we're going to save it, we need to know where to save it so that it can grow properly, so that it will save us later. So we want to learn how to save it so it can save us later. And if we don't learn how to save it, if we don't know how to make it, if we don't know how to increase our disposable cash flow, meaning the money that we have left over, if we cannot increase that portion of our budget or lack thereof of a budget, then we're not going to be able to be saved when it's time, or if a travesty hits. And it's not, most of the time, it's not if a travesty or tragedy will hit, it's when. So we have to be prepared and covered and protected, whether it's health or whether it's something that breaks down on us, car, home, whatever. We want to be prepared. So I was looking at, and I'm going to read my notes, but I was looking at, it was a Clever Girl Finance, looking at some of the things. And I said, yeah, this is going right along the lines of some of the stuff that I always talk about and share. So it's just some practical tips. It's not an exhaustive list. Of course, there are many ways to increase your disposable, meaning increase your bottom line on what you have going out, coming in, and what you are able to keep, and then live off, and then save. And of course, we talked about before in our prior broadcast about the 10-10-80 rule. Save 10 for yourself, tie 10%, and then live off of the 80%. And so we that's kind of a rule of thumb. If we can get to that point, that's a good goal to function and live through. And then if you have businesses, then of course you're dualpreneuring, make up a word, then you could take some of that money, may have to put some extra money over into that invest in yourself side, so that you will have money to build the pot, so that you will be able to grow your business thereby. So we're going to look at some ways we can cut down on expenses. So are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Just give me some give me some reactions if you are ready. So we're going to look at 7 ways to cut down on spending to create more disposable money or more disposable income. Okay. So this is not, like I said, not an exhaustive list. And we're going to go from here. But before we jump in, just wanted to remind you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because there we stream. And of course, you can go back, watch the replays, and have them in a collected manner. And then also make sure that you connect with me on Instagram and Facebook and all of that. And we'll go from there. And of course, here we are. So here's our first thing that we want to talk about. And looking at the 7 ways we can cut down on our expenses is to look at this. 1, cut grocery costs. And of course, in this season that we have been in for quite some time, we always have ebbs and flows in our economy. We can't go without that. Things are up, things are down, kind of leveling out. We hear certain trends, certain goals. The stock's going up, stock's going down, gas is going up, costs for groceries are going up. Everything is impacted. It depends on the sway and the swirl of the events that are going on in the world, on how it impacts what we're able to buy and sell and all that. But still, in the midst of everything going on, I want to plant this seed and really give you this tidbit right here. Money is always moving, even if it's not moving through your hands. So with that thought, hold it. Money is always moving. Now, I always say this phrase, money is always talking, even if we aren't talking about it. But we can add on this, money is always moving, even if we aren't, even if it's not moving through our hands. So here's some tips. They may be small to you, they may not be, but however you use them and then you're able to amplify them will put more money back into your bottom line if you can extract something that's shared on this broadcast to help you to think about, because just some of the things that I share may spark your brain, your interest, pique you, to think, what, I could actually do X, Y, and Z. Because if you listen to the last broadcast, I talked about those gifts that are in us. The money is in our hands. So the money oftentimes is in our house. And we're going to talk about that. Okay. So we're going to cut grocery costs. So oftentimes, I know sometimes we like to stock up and really have multiple of this, that, and the other. But sometimes when you have to recalibrate so that you can save money and soar, you have to say, let me focus on exactly what I need and get that, write it down, stick to my list. And we know the things that we need to continually replenish, but stick to my list. Of course, it's going to be according to your family size, was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6+ people living in the home. You know the trends on how much toilet tissue, soap, whatever people use in the home, what you use in your home. We know how much we normally eat and drink and all of that. So, hey, we have to cut costs. And sometimes it's looking at your favorite grocery store and seeing if they have an app to do some digital couponing, to find some paper coupons, just some things to kind of offset a few cents here and there. Or, of course, some grocery stores have gas, so the trade-off is you get points for getting groceries and buying goods and all that from that particular place, that in turn gives you some pennies up to some dollars off of your gas. Of course, that's an exchange because we more than likely need those things now, so they use it as an exchange. Whether we're really saving a whole lot or not, we don't fully know. We know it's retail, and that's all about making some money. However, it's just the psychology of it. Just work on cutting down your list and making sure that your grocery costs are cut as small as possible. Okay. Then, next thing we want to look at is negotiate a lower car insurance rate. And you may say, well, I can actually do that. Listen, let me share this with you. What I know about the car insurance rates. Oftentimes, I will say this: if you are a female and you're married and if you put yourself first on the policy, and then add your husband or significant other second, the insurance rate will be lower. It's not about a power struggle of the gender, of the sexes, or anything, but I'm just giving you a tidbit. Theoretically, it's worked out where if the woman is first, then the rate is lower, because most of the time, if driving records are good, women's rates are lower than men's. That's how it is. That's even in the life insurance arena that I am a specialist in. It's just like that. Okay. We don't want to get all into formulas and life expectancy and all this and that and driving tendencies and everything, but just go with me on this. You can look it up, you can figure it out. And if you're not married, oh well, it's okay. Let's just shop around for the best cost for our rates in insurance with the cars, and also make sure that they are comparable, because sometimes you can get a cheaper rate, but you will have less coverage and all that. You want to still know what you are getting. So it is good to have someone that can really be very real and lay it out for you, because not all insurance is alike. I will tell you that different things flow in different ways for different companies. That's no pun or hit against the industry, because I am in the industry. However, as a consumer, I want you to think about the consumer's mind and getting more money back into your bottom line. All right. So in doing that, the next thing you can do to help put some money back into your bottom line, savvy women, is to negotiate a lower car interest rate, or also think about, if you own a home or property, a lower home refi rate, to make sure that you are getting the most for your, just for what you're putting out. Here is the thing. One of my friends shared with me when purchasing a home and looking at doing that. I read some literature. They gave me some literature to read. And what was so sad, they didn't think I was going to read it. But here's the thing. Read everything that somebody suggests to you, because you just might find a nugget. Just like if you're listening to this, then I hope you find some nuggets that you can extract and verify for yourself. Trust what I'm saying, but verify for yourself and look at how it can work and help to build you and your family. Make sense? Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. So with that, look at how you can get a lower interest rate on your car. I was fortunate enough to do that. If you haven't bought your car outright, then you want to get the lowest interest rates possible. And oftentimes that will lead me into what we'll talk about later. You may have to look at switching banks or looking at a credit union, because it just, you have to shop. You have to shop, because nobody's going to just jump out and say, hey, here's this. You have to look for yourself to negotiate those rates. And then the next thing that we can look at Reduce cell phone plans. Boy, I tell you, whew, we can get eaten up with these cell phones, with these human computers. I call them a human computer because the phones do everything a laptop, a desktop, a tablet could ever do, because it's handheld computer and we can just touch the whole entire world. But they're also expensive and can be very expensive, and it depends on your needs, and sometimes it's wants that gives us this astronomical bill that we could kind of shave off if maybe we selected another model phone, or lowered our plan, or maybe absolutely take on the thought of coming together and getting on each other's plans and being honest enough to pay the money to break it down. It's collect I mean it's a blessing, and it helps us to collect our funds together. A collective is stronger in numbers, and also you can get better rates when you break something down, because after a certain amount of people, then the lines go down. So it's just something to think about. It may not work for you, but I'm just planting seeds, and if you can pick up one of the seeds and it works for you, then wonderful. All right, the next one: avoid monthly bank fees. That kind of goes back up to when I talked about negotiating those interest rates. Avoiding the bank fees are are a beast as well, because I've gotten accounts online through certain banks, and then later on they switched up their policies and started charging me all these fees, and so the money that I was getting put in directly was getting eaten up by fees. And I said, well, that's defeating the purpose, because I'm trying to save the money and I'm getting it taken away. So you have to monitor that. And oftentimes, if you're business owners, there are perks and things that, on your business accounts that you can look at. But then on your personal side, you want to look at those things as well. So a credit union often will help you on that personal side, and maybe providing a little bit more interest on, if it's an interest bearing checking account or savings account. And then also they won't hit you as hard if there are any fees. They're minimal as opposed to a banking institution, unless you have just some great what you say package or structure or setup to just include bunches of things. Then a credit union will probably be a good avenue for you to check out. And then 6, it seems kind of disconnected, but not disconnected, because we are a material world sometimes, and we are on our phones, on our apps, and buying and all this. Here's a good way to shift the mindset. Remember, I said money is always talking, even if we aren't talking about it. And so we need to talk about it so we can think about how we can not only be the consumers and have people driving up and dropping off packages at our door with their nice trucks, but learning how to be the seller. And then that leads into 6, decluttering and selling what's in good to great condition. Some of those new shoes that you may not have ever worn, some of the dresses with tags on them, those can be resold for a decent price. It may not get the full price, but it can be resold in that consignment style mindset. Think of that, because it can bring some money in. How about this? Some money is better than no money sitting in your closet. So some money out of the closet sold, and you include the shipping and all that in that pricing, sell it and keep moving. Yeah, that keeps it from sitting there. You're looking at it year after year, and it's not doing anything but collecting dust. And maybe you can wear it because you gotten, maybe you can't wear it, maybe because you've gotten too small or you've gotten too COVIDy. But nonetheless, it's still a way to look at adding money to your bottom line and building up your disposable income. All right, and let's see, we're coming in as we close out. Here's something that we all could go through looking and streamlining and focusing on these things. Canceling unused subscriptions. Now, it used to be books and magazines that we subscribed to, right? But now there are so many movie setups that we subscribe to, or whether it's some type of mail order or delivery service that we subscribe to, whether it's food or whether it's different goods and services that we get coming to our doors in boxes. And we don't have to name all those things. I know they're coming to your mind right now on who drops by your house the most because you've gotten on your phone and ordered something. Or you have something on automation that comes to you. Let's flip the script on that and figure out, am I really using this? Is it really benefiting me? And can I live without it? Then that $10, that $13, or that $12.99, or that $49.99 on a monthly basis for vitamins and pills and different things, maybe you can look for an alternative that may not be as much at a certain point in time. Can you get an alternative that will help you to put more money back in your bottom line? Maybe you need to suspend that subscription for a while, or do away with it, or figure out how you can do away with it just all the way to the end. And that will be money, $10, $20, $30, $40 a month going out. Or those gym fees, things that you just have on automation, and then you're not focused and intentional in using them. They end up becoming a frivolous spending habit that you don't even think about. Just like you say, if I put my bills on automation, I don't have to worry about it. The money it comes out. I keep moving. Yeah, flip that around. Put that money back into your account and build your bottom line. So make sure. And then, this will also, and I'm going to put this shameless plug in here because I am a financial professional and I do help people with life insurance. Life insurance is a wonderful thing. Say it with me. Life insurance is a wonderful thing. Yes, it is. It is a wonderful tool. It is a wonderful vehicle. It is a wonderful strategy. It is a tool, a vehicle, and a strategy. It's just not a thing, not anything frivolous. It is not frivolous spending, meaning it's not nothing mindless spending. It's a tool that will help you in your multiplicity of investments that you're going to start putting your money into, because we are giving some tips on how to increase your bottom line. Then you will be able to take some of that money, and where you think you cannot afford a certain amount a month on a life insurance policy that will help you if you get too sick, help you to build your money if you live too long, to supplement your retirement, and if you die too soon, supplement your loved ones so they will not be mad and sad at you for not having anything. Then you will be able to afford. The affordability will start here and then go to here, and then you will be able to just strike that check, just like you do those automated movie channels and extra stuff on the cable bill and all those sports packages and this and that is really not adding any value. It's just only hitting all of the yay and the rah-rahs, and then it's like, oh, okay, let's find something else to do. Yeah, get excited about yourself. Get excited about being empowered. Get excited about having money when you need it, and not always putting it out and spending and wonder what happened. Make it happen and make life happen. Make things happen instead of looking up and saying, what in the world has happened? Yeah, so we want to make sure that if you take these tips, look at these tidbits, take these 7 things that we looked at to talk about getting ourselves back in order. This is not an exhaustive list by any means necessary. It's not, but it is a way to start your juices to flowing and your mind to just get some creative things on. How can I sell some things? How can I be a seller to get more money back into my bottom line instead of just a consumer and always spending? This is one thing that cannot happen ever. Adding and subtracting cannot happen at the same time. They will never happen at the same time. They never will. Not at the same time. Not at the same time. So we want to figure out how we can add to ourselves and keep from subtracting from ourselves all of the time. We have to spend money, yes, but we want to make sure we're just not spending, and never getting anything back to build assets for us. Okay. So this has been a great time. I've had a ball. I hope you've had a blast. Hope you've enjoyed. And we're going to come back again because we want to continue talking about this month as we're going through Women's Month, Women's History Month. We want to make history. We want to be living history because we turned our historical DNA all the way around so that, ladies, we pulled the reins on some things. We got in the driver's seat and we started driving the car and we knew where we were going because we set goals to get there. So it's all about the women, all about being empowered. And of course, we want to be helpers. If we have significant others, we want to be helpers to them so that it's not a power struggle, but we can both be powerful. Yes, together. And then think about it, strength in numbers. It's not a whole lot of strength by yourself. You can lift weights, big weights when you have a spotter to help you if it's too heavy. But if you don't have a spotter to help you and that weight is too heavy, what will it do? Bust your chest. So we don't want that to happen. We want to make sure that we know that money is always talking, even if we aren't talking about it. And we want to make sure that whatever you do it with excellence and you do it with care, control, so you can soar. You want to be savvy so you can soar. Save your money, recalibrate, save your money so you can soar. Bye-bye.